reconstituted boards of 3 parastatals under the Ministry of Petroleum Resources inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari. Court of Appeal handling Ondo State gubernatorial election matters adjourns indefinitely. Port Harcourt refinery set to commence production of aviation fuel. Nigerian armed forces take delivery of new war equipment and pledge to clear remnants of Boko Haram in northeast Nigeria. Hello and thanks for joining us on NTA Network News. I am Laure Bala Hassan. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed into law 8 bills by the National Assembly aimed at enhancing the nation's socio-economic development. The senior special assistant to the President on National Assembly matters, Senator Ita Enang, made this known while briefing newsmen after the presidential assent. State House correspondent Adam Sambu reports.
The new acts of the National Assembly, as they are now called, include the Prevention of Crimes Amendment Act, the National Crop Varieties and Livestock Breed Amendment Act, Telecommunications and Postal Services Amendment Act, and the National Agricultural Land Development Authority Amendment Act. Others are the Produce Enforcement and Export Standard Act, the Agricultural and Rural Development Training Institute Amendment Act, the Bee Import Control and Management Amendment Act, and the National Water Resources Amendment Act.
Mr. President expresses his appreciation to the leadership and membership of the National Assembly for the great work they did in considering the bills and the details they have gone in to consider the bills. And Mr. President considers the acts as very vital to the agenda of the present administration and in consonance with the All Progressive Congress government agenda.
The President, Senator Ita Enang, said has directed ministers, heads of extra-ministerial departments and other government functionaries to always attend public hearings by the National Assembly on pending bills relevant to them and make inputs so that at the end of the day, such bills will be easier to implement.
I consider this very unprecedented because no such number of bills has been passed and forwarded at once to a president for assent, and no such number of bills has been assented to at a record time. And of course, I also consider it a record that bills have been passed on various sectors, and in giving assent to the bill, it did not lead to rancor or a disputation as to this should be, this should not be, this should be in, and this should not be in. This shows that the executive and the legislature are working together.
The senior special assistant to the president confirmed that at the moment there is no bill passed by the National Assembly that is awaiting President Muhammadu Buhari's assent. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated the newly reconstituted boards of 3 parastatals under the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, urging members to ensure propriety in the management of the vital national institutions for sustainable growth and development of the economy. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo again reports.
The newly reconstituted boards include those of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, as well as the Nigeria Nuclear Regulatory Authority. Coming at a time the country is badly hit by the misfortunes of the oil industry, like most producer nations, President Muhammadu Buhari urged the board members to chart pragmatic ways of addressing prevailing economic challenges through the ongoing reforms aimed at achieving better performance and efficiency.
Oil and gas are the country's foreign exchange earners. Therefore, we should explore more innovative ways to resolve the joint venture funding constraints and other investment issues to ensure the most effective way for Nigeria to get value for money from our assets.
The president described the recent major restructuring of the NNPC, the painful liberalization of the downstream sector, as well as the improved transparency in its operations, as pointers to the new focus of the vital institution under his administration, and therefore challenged the new appointees to exhibit high sense of responsibility and patriotism in the discharge of their duties.
I must mention that the task before you is enormous, but I am confident that the desired growth, this government's aspirations, and indeed the aspiration of all Nigerians will be achieved within a reasonable time frame.
The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachiku, chairs the 3 new boards.
We have had your kind words of wisdom and the steer that you've given us in terms of ensuring transparency, focus, and thinking outside the box in a bid to find solutions to the problems that plague many of these parastatals. We assure you that the people you have appointed are competent, experienced, devoted, and nationalistic, and we'll do the very best we can to reduce the labor on your shoulders in terms of the management and steer of these institutions.
There will be a lot of transparency as been charged by the presidency, and we will come up with a clear Nigerian content blueprint that everybody will be aware of where we want to be in the next 5 years in moving the oil and gas sector to the next level.
The international community will look at Nigeria with some amount of respect from today. What are we bringing on board? Safety, security, or even safeguard. A possibility of using nuclear energy as a source of power. Nigerian people should trust the Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority.
The boards of the 3 remaining parastatals under the Ministry of Petroleum Resources are expected to be inaugurated before the end of the year. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Port Harcourt refinery is set to commence production of aviation fuel. The managing director of Port Harcourt Refinery Company said this during a presentation to the group managing director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru. Dr. Baru reiterated the corporation's readiness to ensure that the refinery was not just in operation, but also contribute effectively to meeting local demands for petroleum products.
Because we need to ensure that our refineries work optimally. Our downstream activities are efficient, are robust enough, and our center of excellence is more visible and responding to the fears of the technological adoption for us to move towards the world class that we always aspire to.
In a related development, the GMD has promised to complete all ongoing infrastructure projects as part of measures to boost the nation's economy. He made the promise during a one-day working visit to 3 of the corporation's strategic business units in Warri, Delta State. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the country can be great, even better than before, if the people are guided by spiritual injunctions in their daily dealings. The Vice President said this at the ongoing National Convention of the Businessmen's Fellowship in Abuja. State House correspondent Jide Unifade reports.
Whether it is hard work and innovation, whether it's integrity, whether it's the payment of taxes, whether it's the rule of law in Romans 13 verse 1, whether it's the fair treatment of workers in Colossians 4 verse 1, every one of the principles that have made nations great, every one of those principles is contained in Scripture. Question is whether or not those who are purveyors of the Scripture are prepared to teach what is contained in it.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo posing a ₦1 million question on how well followers of Christ are putting principles from the Scripture to use in their day-to-day activities. Speaking of the theme, Occupy Till I Come, the Vice President says Christians are to be shining examples, preaching and teaching principles of integrity that would transform the nation and also lead to eternal life.
There's a need for us to think in terms of what we are meant to do in discipling the nations. So we cannot say that we have begun to disciple the nations or occupy until the principles and values and virtues of the kingdom of God have become accepted as norms in our society. And they can. And it is possible.
Vice President Osinbajo says even non-Christians are expected to follow those principles that could move the nation forward. From the National Stadium in Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
6 people have lost their lives in 3 separate suicide bomb attacks Friday morning in Maiduguri. Hamman Jabani reports.
The first blast occurred at about 4 a.m. opposite Federal High Court Jidari Polo when a mobile police personnel intersected 3 suspected suicide bombers, 2 female and a male. During interrogation, one of them detonated the IED strapped to her body, killing herself and the male accomplice. The third suicide bomber was arrested and handed over to the military. The second blast occurred by Muna Garage along Gaborungala Road, killing the suicide bomber, while the third occurred at a checkpoint along the same road, killing the bomber and 2 personnel of civilian JTF.
In an attempt to enter the garage, of course, to cause more further havoc, he was prevented, and in the process he detonated, and only him died instantly. Then a few poles away, just by welcome to Maiduguri, if you're coming into Maiduguri from Mafa area, the suicide bomber was about to be prevented from entering the town, and in the process he detonated, and he died instantly with 2 other civilian JTF men.
The Commissioner of Police, Damien Chukwu, said that 5 Volkswagen Golf taxi cab were also intercepted conveying a cow each, suspected to have been rustled. 2 of the drivers escaped, while the other 3, who gave their names as Mohammed Hassan, Mohammed Mustafa, and Bafugu, have been arrested. He restated the directive banning any kind of procession in Borno as a security measures to protect innocent citizens, and called for cooperation from the public to assist the police in the fight against criminal elements. In Maiduguri, Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
The Nigerian military is to intensify the clearance of remnants of Boko Haram in northeast Nigeria. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, said this while inspecting recently delivered war equipment at the headquarters of the Theatre Command in Maiduguri. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
It is no longer news the fact that the insurgency that began in 2009 in northeast Nigeria has led to the death of thousands of people and displaced millions. What is important is the success recorded through the coordinated aggressive efforts of the armed forces led by the army.
The terrorists have been defeated, there is no doubt about it. One thing to defeat is another thing for the terrorists to surrender. So we are working on their final surrender. The remaining enclaves where they are, that's what we are working on.
Areas inspected include the Mobile Repair Group MRG and the gun park. These force multiply equipment will assist the movement of troops in carrying out their required operations in the theater of war. Similarly, for the past 2 weeks, the Army Chief has been visiting and encouraging troops at the front line, where he promised to review some postings. From Maiduguri, Borno State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And still talking security, a communique has been presented on international best practices of defense attaches and advisors' contributions towards effective management of crisis by the armed forces in combating unrest in the country. This was at the closing ceremony of the 2016 Annual Conference of Defense Attaches and Advisors held in Abuja. Olajide Bello reports.
With the theme Harnessing Potentials of Defense Attaché System for Improving National Security in Nigeria, the conference was a platform to brainstorm on ways of improving security intelligence in maintaining peace and stability in the country. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi Olonishakin, represented, stressed that improvement in intelligence architecture is paramount in maintaining the nation's national integrity.
The defense sections must therefore focus on the strategic military needs of our armed forces and contribute effectively to our collective effort at ensuring readiness for adequately and effectively containing the next set of challenges that may arise.
The Chief of Defense Intelligence reiterated the federal government's commitment towards providing necessary logistics for effective input in service delivery.
The intelligence enterprise today is the absolute force multiplier for our effort as we attract the forces of destruction and division unleashed upon us. Therefore, improvements to the intelligence architecture has to continue beyond this conference.
The defense attaches and advisors were also tasked to continue to be good ambassadors of Nigeria in their respective countries. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari says the Information and Communications Technology (ICT) remains relevant in the quest for the growth and development of the nation. The president stated this in a message at Nigeria's Day of the International Telecommunications Union in Bangkok, Thailand. Ruben Okala reports.
Piloted by the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC), the nation's telecommunication market has grown astronomically, contributing almost 10% to the gross domestic product (GDP), according to available statistics. Nigeria's Day at the IT World 2016 in Bangkok was to showcase its vast potentials to the international market. The Minister of Communication, Mr. Adebayo Shitu, who led Nigeria's delegation on behalf of the president, says the massive deployment and usage of ICT in Nigeria is an evidence that the country is fully on course.
There are opportunities in the supply of broadcast equipment. There are opportunities in manufacturers of end users, installers and providers of after-sales support.
NCC Executive Vice Chairman Professor Garba Umar Dambata and the Kaduna State Governor Malam Nasiru El-Rufai say Nigeria has all it takes to be among Committee of Nations in the industry.
We recognize, ladies and gentlemen, the immense socio-economic importance of ICT to national development.
The opportunities in Nigeria are almost beyond limit.
It's not the Nigeria for Nigeria, it's the Nigeria for Africa.
Players of the industry from Nigeria also commended the 8-point agenda of the NCC towards fast-tracking broadband development.
Nigeria's Day at IT World 2016 is seen by organizers as a golden opportunity for the country to showcase its potentials among Committee of Nations and over 100% teledensity and still counting. In Bangkok, Ruben Okala, NTA News.
And back home, Chairman Senate Committee on Works Kabiru Ibrahim Gaya has reiterated federal government's commitment to provide effective road network throughout the country. It is for this reason, he said, that the sum of 248 billion naira was earmarked for roads in this year's budget. Correspondent Waziri Zayanu reports that the Works Committee chairman stated this when the PW Construction Company met with the Senate Committee in Abuja.
Senator Kabiru Gaya cautioned all contractors to be fair and thorough in carrying out their jobs, pointing out that lethargy and sharp practices would no longer be condoned.
It means we are going to continue on these roads like this all over the country. It means we'll be thinking billions of money on the ground, and we see nothing at the end of the day.
We, as contractors, our expertise is in constructing roads, in building roads, and in complying, and where our obligations is to make sure we comply with the design.
In the meantime, Chairman Senate Committee on Primary Health Care and Communicable Diseases, Senator Mao Huabunwa, has called for constant interaction between primary health care agencies and the committee. This, he said, is with a view to enabling the committee help such agencies achieve their mandate. Senator Huabunwa stated this when officials of the FCT Primary Health Care Board visited the National Assembly.
We have a peculiar duty and function, just like we talk about outbreaks, polio, and all that. So we at the committee saddled with that responsibility to oversight ministries and agencies.
We bring all the stakeholders, including the National Assembly members, House of Reps, House of Senate, to look at the bill at the beginning of the conception.
Meanwhile, Senate Deputy Minority Leader Philip Aduda has reiterated commitment to listen and strive towards addressing yearnings and aspirations of the people of the FCT. He stated this when principal officers of the Abuja Municipal Council paid him courtesy call.
We are at the verge of a constitutional amendment. You have come at the right time. You have spoken on behalf of all the local governments in the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayan, NTA News.
Director General Securities and Exchange Commission Munir Gwarzo says the Commission has rolled out a 10-year plan to boost Nigeria's stock market. He stated this at an interactive session between the Commission and the House Committee on Capital Market and other institutions. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
Director General SEC explained that the 10-year plan is a major step towards rebuilding investors' confidence. He noted that the Commission had also established the National Investment Protection Fund, which had so far paid 3,000 beneficiaries.
Yes, we are going through difficult times because the market is not where we expected to be, but it's a reflection of the state of the economy. It's a reflection, of the state of the world economy. It's not only in Nigeria.
Chairman, House Committee on Capital Market and other institutions, Tajuddin Yusuf, emphasized on the role of the stock exchange market in socio-economic development.
The intention of this is to prepare us for us to know where we are, where we need improvement.
The Iranian ambassador to Nigeria, Rahimi Zachi, visited the House of Representatives Committee on Banking and Currency, where both parties discussed how to foster bilateral relations in banking transactions, especially credit facilities between Nigeria and Iran.
Our real oversight is on the apex regulator, which is the Central Bank of Nigeria. So we'll be engaging them to know how that would work with our usual conventional banking regulatory system.
The interactive session also discussed the issue of infrastructural development and how both Nigeria and Iran can collaborate in that sector. In Abuja, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says the federal government is not mincing words in its determination to fight corruption to a standstill. The minister was speaking in Abuja when he received in audience the United Nations Secretary General Special Representative for Africa, Anthony Forson, reports.
The Information and Culture Minister said the present administration's determination in fighting corruption is yielding results. Therefore, it will not bend backwards on the successes recorded, saying institutionalizing the process is next in line.
Through the effort of the Presidential Committee on Asset Recovery, the government has been able to coordinate the collation and categorization of recovered assets from 2015 to 2016. It has succeeded in verifying the records of status of physical assets such as buildings, vessels, etc. recovered under previous administration. The committee has also approved a Central Assets Management Committee under the Minister of Finance who will be responsible for managing government assets and set up a framework for the management of this recovered stolen asset to avoid any possibility of relooting or mismanagement of these assets, as was the case in the past.
On the support the Nigerian government receives from the United Nations in the fight against terrorism, the minister was full of appreciation to the role of the UN and its agencies as it complements the present administration's efforts.
The government of Nigeria is very grateful to the United Nations for its support in all its major challenges. In the area of insecurity, we've received a lot of support.
Earlier, the representative of the United Nations Secretary General, Mohammed Ibn Chambers, said the United Nations fully appreciates Nigeria's plight.
What we are very pleased about is the fact that the President, His Excellency, President Muhammad Buhari, has appointed a ministerial level coordinator in the person of the Federal Minister of State for Budget and Planning, who is coordinating this effort, and the international partners are very pleased with this.
And to this end, he assured Nigeria of the UN's continued support in tackling insurgency and catering for displaced persons whose number keep increasing daily. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Former President Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has described late Ibrahim Dasuki as a man who believes in the unity and peaceful coexistence of Nigeria. He was speaking when he paid a condolence visit to Sultan Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III over the death of the 18th Sultan of Sokoto, Ibrahim Dasuki. Jamilu Ibrahim reports.
Former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan says late Dasuki was a leader of great repute as manifested by his patriotism and spirit of peace and unity of his country.
Because for him to survive 93 years or so, something that we have to be thankful to us. The leaders of us are very far away from there. We know the leaders are astral.
Former President Goodluck said he had held many discussions with the late Sultan in the United Kingdom that are tailored towards selfless service to humanity. Sultan Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III thanked the former president for sympathizing with the Sultanate, the family, and entire Nigerians over the demise of late Sultan Dasuki. Also at the palace for the condolence was a mayor of Gumi in Zamfara State, Justice Lawal Gumi.
Whatever you say, you cannot really describe this quintessential gentleman.
He said late Sultan Dasuki contributions to local government administration will ever be remembered in the annals of the nation's history. In Sokoto, Jabele Dabore, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Court of Appeal handling Ondo State PDP gubernatorial matters adjourns indefinitely. Details of this and other stories when NTA Network News returns.
10 years ago, Globe predicted that the future lay in data. They laid a dedicated fiber optic ring around the country, seamlessly connecting to cities, suburbs, and towns. They created innovative, flexible, and highly affordable data plans. Then, Glo launched 4G LTE, data so clear and so fast that it will transform the way Nigerians communicate, work, learn, and play. They can listen to millions of music tracks, enjoy thousands of movies, play online video games, and even watch live TV. Their homes have become smart homes. This is the new speed of life.
Enjoy the fastest data speed plus free world-class content at 10 gigabytes for 2,500 naira and 24 gigabytes for 5,000 naira. Available in all Glow World outlets and Glow dealers. Welcome to the new speed of life.
We have the winning team, Aketi and Ayola. We have the right agenda. The grand finale rally of the APC for the Ondo governorship election comes up on Saturday, the 19th of November 2016 at the Democracy Park, Akure by 12 noon. In attendance will be the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, the APC National Chairman, governors, senators, House of Representative members, and party stalwarts. APC members and the general public are invited. Aketi and Ayola, the winning tickets. APC Change Media Publicity Committee announcer.
To send and receive money across Africa in a flash, use Rapid Transfer today. To find out more, visit us online at ecobank.com. Move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
The President, American University of Nigeria, Dr. Maggie Ensign, invites the public to the 11th Annual Founders Day, scheduled for Saturday, 19th November 2016, at the Lamido Aliyu Mustafa Commencement Hall of the University at 4 p.m. Mrs. Olufunke Iyabode Osibadu, the Chief Executive Officer, Benin Electricity Distribution Company, is the keynote speaker at the event, which coincides with the 70th birthday of the founder, former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, GCON. Announcer, Daniel Okerike, Executive Director, Communications and Public Relations.
It's truck month at Ford, and we've got a Ranger just for you, Vincent. Here's the Workhorse 2.5 petrol single cab with free Ford Protect, a 4-year, 120,000-kilometer service plan. Or the 2.5 petrol-based double cab with 800mm water wading capability. Available in manual transmission and with free Ford Protect. So while stocks last, visit Kostaris Motors today. Because, wait for it, thanks Vincent. we've got a top Ford Ranger just for you.
The Federal Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the National Teachers Institute and OSAP SDGs, wishes to inform the general public that the 2016 Sustainable Development Goals SDGs retraining program for 16,350 primary school teachers is scheduled to hold nationwide from Monday 21st to Saturday 26th November 2016. The flag off by the Honorable Minister of Education, Malam Adamu Adamu, will hold on Monday 21st November 2016 at 10 a.m. at the ML Auditorium, Federal Polytechnic, Bauchi. Professor Garba Dahuwa Azari, Director General and Chief Executive, National Teachers Institute, announcer.
Hello, dear. You've got the first signs of a sore throat.
Yes, and I'm afraid it could be signs of a sore throat.
Don't you worry. Just act immediately, but not with non-medicated throat sweets. Take an expert product. Take Strepsils. Look at what it does to sore throat germs compared to a throat sweet. Strepsils not only stops the germs from multiplying, it even kills them.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, sore throat. Stop a sore throat early. Take Strepsils.
Would you like some water? It's cold, especially for you.
Which era are you living in? We have a fridge.
When everything else in your house is from the present, then why are your toilet cleaning methods from the past? Harpic, all-in-one for you. Compared to other toilet cleaners, Harpic removes top stains, kills all germs, and removes bad odors for a shining, clean, and fresh toilet.
Wow.
You should also take the Harpic
all-in-one challenge.
Northern Nigeria Christian Politicians, NNCP, holds her first conference and colloquium. Theme, Prayer for the Nation, Appreciation to Mr. President, and Reception to honor Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, Speaker of the House of Representatives, and Engineer Babakir David Lawal, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, under the distinguished chairmanship of former Head of State, General Yakubu Gowon, retired. Special Guest of Honor, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Guest Speaker, Bishop Benjamin Kwashi. Date, 19th November 2016. Venue, ICC Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. Senator Victor Law, Chairman, Media and Publicity Committee, announcer.
The Future Assured project and its components, Get Involved, initiated by the wife of the President, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is not relenting in championing the cause of Nigerian women and children. Its provision of free medical screening, educational support, and the fight against malnutrition, especially in the Northeast, has indeed informed international recognition, partnerships, and awards.
We are very grateful and appreciative for your wonderful gesture you have accorded to us.
With Future Assured, Nigerian women and children are assured of a bright future.
Future is assured when we join hands to promote the health of our women and children. Get involved.
Get involved and support the Future Assured initiative. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
People think it's the ever-changing weather during Harmattan that makes them sick. Actually, it's the germs. Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs, including flu.
Does your antiseptic liquid kill the germs that cause flu, diarrhea, typhoid? Dettol does. Dettol provides 10 times more protection versus leading competition. So why take a risk with your loved ones?
Welcome back. You're still watching NTA Network News. Court of Appeal panel handling Ondo State PDP gubernatorial matters has adjourned indefinitely. This followed the appeals pending at the Supreme Court, in which the presiding justices have been joined as parties. Dele Atumbi reports that though the Court of Appeal panel at its sitting Friday was to give judgment on the case of Eyitayo Jegede versus B. Boroye, where Eyitayo Jegede as appellant was challenging the judgment of Justice Okun Abang, which ordered the substitution of his name with that of Jimo Ibrahim as PDP candidate. The three-man Court of Appeal, headed by Justice Ibrahim Salawa, ruled that it will adjourn indefinitely until the Supreme Court determines the appeals pending before it. The Buhari Media Support Group has advised members of the opposition to stop exploiting the ignorance of discerning and gullible Nigerians by feeding them with deliberate falsehood with a view to promoting disaffection and ill will towards the government. Reacting to opposition allegations that the Buhari administration purportedly donated $500 million to the Hillary Clinton campaign, the group, in a statement signed by its chairman, Muhammad Labo, says such accusations are products of deliberate mischief, downright lies and distortion of reality intended to mislead Nigerians. According to the statement, it is illegal under the American campaign finance law for the Buhari administration to make such donations to any candidate or political party in the United States, adding that President Muhammadu Buhari would be the last person to approve illegal donation of any magnitude. The group, which also picked holes in the online video circulating on the alleged donation, noted further that no American committee or individual can donate more than $100,200 to elections. The group, while quoting official records that says the Hillary Clinton campaign raised a total of a little above $500 million, wondered why the dubious online video could then be creating the impression of one person bankrolling the campaign. Consequent on harmonious living among ethnic groups to enhance social stability, the Arewa Ambassadors Group in Rivers State has visited the Archbishop of the Niger Delta North of the Anglican Communion on Nigeria, Most Reverend Ignatius Kate, in Port Harcourt. They arrived at decisions for promoting inter-ethnic and religious understanding.
The Arewa youths commended Most Reverend Ignatius Kati for his courage, unwavering support and commitment to serve Nigerians, irrespective of religion and tribal differences. The group also noted with delight the unique role of the bishop in promoting peace and harmony in Nigeria. The group later presented the 2016 Arewa Leadership Award on Humanitarian Services to Bishop Kati.
This is the man of God who preaches wisdom to people. This is the man of God who are not holding any political office, but they are using their wisdom to tell the world the reason why they should embrace peace.
Receiving the award, Bishop Kati described the visit and the award as unique, coming from a different religion and ethnic group.
I don't know how they got to know about me, and they came here to honor me. They said if there are other politicians, people say they came for money. They didn't come for money.
The bishop urged politicians to always initiate policies that will unite the country rather than divide it. In Port Harcourt, Karina Igonikon, NTA News.
Muslims have been challenged to engage in legitimate businesses by striving to earn a living through legitimate means instead of engaging in illegitimate acts like begging and other vices. This was the thrust of today's Jumat sermon delivered by the Deputy Chief Imam of Abuja National Mosque, Ustaz Muhammad Kabir. Abdullahi Musa Suleja reports.
Some of the social vices experienced in the society today are being attributed to the attitude of youth and people who are not engaged in one trade or the other, making them idle. Ustaz Kabir made reference to the Holy Quran, where Allah says He will guide any faithful who strives in His way. The Imam said the entire society benefits if people engage in doing things to fend for themselves.
Whoever strive to our cause, whoever strive to our ways, surely we will guide him. When a businessman come out for his business, Allah is there to guide him. When every Nigerian stand up, get something doing, definitely it will assist in wiping out the present economic situation.
As a Muslim, it is your duty to struggle. You cannot stay at home, be sleeping, and then think you can get something to take care of your family.
There were special prayers for the dead and injured as part of activities marking the World Accident Week.
Widen this opportunity to call on all Muslim faithfuls to show concern and care to road traffic victims wherever they come across them.
In Abuja, Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, says the NTA will continue to support the annual service of 9 lessons and Christmas Carol, co-organized by the NTA, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, and Voice of Nigeria. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday
The 2016 edition of the Service of 9 Lessons and Christmas Carol will be the 11th. The need to surpass the successes recorded in the past necessitated this meeting between the organizing committee and the Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, represented by the Executive Director of Special Duties, Joseph Etuk, who promised the committee maximum support in ensuring the success of this year's edition of the program.
We're always looking for positive changes, and the positive change will come when the country is united. That's why everybody should be part and parcel of this event.
The unique selling point this year is we want to bring all faiths together. We also want to invite our brothers, the Muslims, to come and observe.
Celebrating Jesus is the theme of this year's edition, scheduled for the 11th of December 2016 at the National Christian Center, Abuja. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Senate President Bukola Saraki in Lagos. Let's get a gist of his visit as we join Jennifer in our NTA Lagos Network Center. Hello, Jennifer.
Thank you, Laurie. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. Senate President Bukola Saraki has enjoined Nigerians to support government strategies towards economic recovery. The Senate President was speaking at the first National Chevening Alumni Summit in Lagos.
The Senate President Bukola Saraki, who spoke in line with the theme, the economic prosperity of Nigeria and the role of alumni in contributing to growth, said the upper house strives to support policies that could address the current economic challenges. The Senate President pointed out that the Northeast should not be neglected in the scheme of things, as that axis has the potential to yield high returns on investment due to the presence of human and natural resources.
Majority of the people there are farmers, so it's important that we try and create an enabling environment that makes them be able to go back to their communities and farm.
The British High Commissioner speaks on the impact of the summit on Nigeria's economy.
With an educated population, a young population, that can really help drive this economy in a dynamic way.
Participants who are members of the Chevening Alumni Association of Nigeria reacted to the submissions of speakers.
This summit is the first of its kind, so it should bring up some ideas that would help government.
We're actually coming together to see how that bond can be translated as something that can further impact on the society where we belong.
The summit climaxed with a gala night.
Now to business. Nigeria needs to develop an economic blueprint that will form the basis for repositioning the country to either becoming a manufacturing, service or mixed-oriented economy. This economic experts say has become imperative considering the fact that existing economic policies lack proper coordination. Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
Hello, good to have you join us on Business News. Nigeria is taking aggressive measures to diversify its oil revenue sources and increase reserves. The exploration of the various basins, experts say, has huge potential to actualize such plans. The Group Managing Director, Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Mekanti Kachallabaru, explained that aggressive activity is ongoing at the Dahomey and Anambra basins.
More aggressive activity is taking place in the Dahomey Basin. The Anambra Basin is also being looked at. Intention of NNPC through the Frontier Exploration Services is to move also into the Bida Basin by shooting some regional seismic. All these programs will start early next year.
And that's Business News this evening. Thanks for being part of it. The news continues shortly.
Thank you, Abdullahi. Now, if you're just joining us, you're watching the NTA Network News live from the Lagos Network Center. We have more reports ahead on the news from Abuja when we return after this timeout. Stay tuned.
My daughter-in-law, so how are you planning for my son's birthday? No, I have to cook for her. Do you people have ogirisi there? No? It's okay. Okay, let me call you back. Mama Chijuke. Hi, so wait a market. Please pack some ogirisi. I am going to visit my son. My daughter-in-law. It's arranged, but you must use original red oil to prepare this soup. What? I'll call you back. Mama Chijuke, please include Isio Morocco, my daughter-in-law. Everything is now set. But don't forget that gold wristwatch I saw the last time I visited.
Now you can talk until you tire for just 11 kobo per second. Call all networks in Nigeria and 30 international destinations, including US, UK, China, Canada, and India for just 11 kobo per second. Dial *211# to activate.
That's silk boo-boos.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
Don't just sit there. You need to reach out. I won't get hungry. Don't vomit. Ew. Try it. It's quick and effective. And it works.
You need to believe in yourself, Halima.
With free basics, one opportunity leads to many. Dial *141# to get Girl Effect, Airtel One Touch, and many more without data charges. Only on Airtel.
Champs all over Nigeria are starting their day with Milo. And now they're enjoying it from their own special Milo Cup. Does your champ have one? Buy the Milo Champ Pack, which contains 2 packs of Milo 500 grams and a free Milo Cup your champ can write their names on. Offer valid while stock lasts. Milo, the energy food drink of future champions.
Success. I always wanted to make something of myself. Even when I was a child. With So Clean, my mother made sure that my clothes were clean and bright. With a 30% concentrated formula, washing is faster, brighter, and cleaner. Like millions of families, mine also trust So Clean. With my clothes and with my career. Because when all eyes are on you, you have to look the part. So Clean. It's your time to shine.
So Clean. Now with a new look and stain magnet technology for even better stain removal.
Welcome back. This is NTA Network News. The Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria has held an investiture to honor the 15th president of the association, Dr. Omede Idris, in Abuja. Abdullahi Suleiman Iyaji reports.
Professional bodies have actively promoted the utilization of talent, provided technical support towards implementation of policy, and ensured high ethical standards among members. It is no surprise seasoned professionals gathered to chart a way out of the nation's economic recession.
A leadership that lacks professionalism cannot deliver credible and strong governance institutions that the economy needs to thrive.
I want to assure you that on the part of the National Assembly, we will continue to work hard to ensure that legal framework guiding our electoral system conform to international best practices and standards, while also addressing our peculiar local challenges.
The Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria swore its 15th president, Dr. Omede Idris, and urged him to leverage on his expertise towards nation building.
And with the diverse economic potentials of our nation, professionals are always eager to tap into these numerous options and opportunities to propel the economic progress of Nigeria.
He has always been a go-getter. I'm particularly proud that Dr. Omede is a convener.
Awards were presented to distinguished Nigerians for their exemplary leadership and contributions to the progress of the country. In Abuja, Abdullahi Suleiman Iyaji, NTA News.
wife of Bauchi State Governor Hadiza Abubakar, has flagged off distribution of nutritional supplements to infants and daily kits to pregnant women in Bauchi State. Correspondent Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad reports that the health intervention is at the instance of her non-governmental organization, Bauchi Sustainable Women Economic Empowerment and Peace Initiative, B-SWIP.
The maternal and infant health intervention by Hadiza Abubakar is to stamp the prevalence of maternal and neonatal death in Bauchi State. Targeting 1,000 malnourished children and 600 pregnant women, the pilot model of the intervention will also provide mothers with the skills to prepare infant formula with soybeans, sorghum, and groundnuts for their babies. Flagging off the exercise in Alkaleri local government area of Bauchi South Senatorial Zone, Bauchi State Governor Muhammad Abubakar, represented by his deputy Nugidado, says the intervention will go a long way in complementing government's effort towards providing quality health care to its people.
To improve the healthcare services in the state, we are rehabilitating our health centers across the state and equipping them to cope with the health demands of our rural dwellers, thereby decongesting the urban hospitals.
We have provided them with delivery kits so that we can help and support them in delivering in a hygienic and safe environment.
Commending Hajia Hadiza Abubakar on her gesture, the UNICEF and Bauchi State Primary Healthcare Development Agency promised to key into B-SWIP's program in order to build a healthy and productive generation of Nigerians. Other items distributed includes long-lasting insecticidal treated mosquito nets and grains. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad, NTA News.
Nigerian-Turkish relations rekindled and 12th Women African Championship set to take off. Global tidbits, sports update and more when NTA Network News returns.
Abuja Carnival. Unique. Captivating. Enchanting.
A show of unity. A celebration of culture.
An unrivaled cultural experience. The best cultural party ever.
Miss it? You miss it?
You miss it? You miss it? You miss it? You miss out. Be there. Abuja Carnival 2016. Theme: the creative industry. Pivot to economic growth. Destination: Abuja Capital City. Date: December 3rd to 6th, 2016.
Abuja Carnival, a truly national carnival.
Welcome back. The Industrial Training Fund has disbursed over 950 million naira as allowances to 42,877 students of 73 tertiary institutions for the Students' Industrial Work Experience Scheme between 2011 and 2014. ITF Director General Mr. Joseph Ari disclosed this when he received the Executive Council members of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS. Linret Lot reports.
Mr. Ari blamed the backlog on under-appropriation, coupled with the soaring number of accredited disciplines, students and tertiary institutions. He, however, assured that the ITF is committed to the prompt payment of CWES allowances if funding comes from the federal government. He noted that the backlog, which was paid 2 months after he assumed duty, was a pointer to how seriously he viewed the issue of payment of CWES allowances. The DG, who commended the National Association of Nigerian Students for resorting to dialogue in airing their grievances, announced plans to convene a national stakeholders meeting which will involve NANS in order to chart a new course for the scheme.
ITF does not generate the money to pay the students. When government gives us, we now pay. Government has challenges of funding. To give us some time, we will work assiduously to ensure that this scheme is sustained and becomes very relevant.
President of NANS, Haruna Kaderi, represented by the Vice President Special Duties, Felix Atta, lauded the Director General on his monumental achievements in less than 2 months of assumption of office and commended him for the payment of students' allowances. He debunked the rumors making the rounds, especially on social media, that NANS is mobilizing students to picket ITF headquarters.
We want you to use this office to see how you will actually sit up and make sure students are paid totally.
In Jos, Rinret Lot, NTA News.
The visit of the Turkish ambassador to Nigeria, Hakan Kakil, to the office of the Special Advisor to the President Muhammadu Buhari on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora has rekindled relationship between the two countries. Details on Global Tidbits.
Hakan Kakil says Turkey has maintained good political, economic, educational and trade relationships with Nigeria since 1963, when it opened its embassy in Lagos and later relocated to Abuja. He noted that Turkey, and Nigeria as its largest trading partner in sub-Saharan Africa, has witnessed increased investments between 2014 and 2015. There was a further boost in bilateral relations between both countries, he observed, with the official visit to Nigeria by the Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan in March 2016. SSA to President Muhammadu Buhari, Abike Dabari Erewa, says the visit was reassuring as the present administration commits to balanced bilateral relationships as well as safety and welfare of its citizens across the world. Ogechi Paul, that's Global Tidbit.
And talking sports, 12th African Women's Championship set to begin in Cameroon Saturday as the 2016 National Division 1 Basketball League jumps ball in Abuja. Kene Imagudike is our guide on sports updates.
8 nations begin hostilities in the 12th edition of the Africa Women's Championship in Cameroon Saturday, with the first games in Group A billed for the Stade Amadou Ahidjo Stadium, Yaoundé, where the hosts take on Egypt, while South Africa face Zimbabwe. Super Falcons of Nigeria, who are bidding to clinch a record 8th title in the biennial tournament, opened their campaign for title defense against Mali in Group B Sunday at the Stade Municipal de Limbe, where Ghana later confronts Kenya. The 2016 National Division 1 Basketball League jumped ball Friday at the indoor sports hall of the Abuja National Stadium, with 17 teams battling for the 2 available spots in the Premier Basketball League next season. Nigerian Army in red held on to beat Dashan Mambas 54 to 53 points, while Civil Defense were better than Abuja All-Stars in a 56 to 48 points thriller, and Police Bombers outdunked Osun Lions 57 to 3. Command Day Secondary School Kaduna have emerged overall champions of the 10th Biennial Command Secondary Schools and Nigerian Military Schools Games, which ended at the Agoye Ironsi Cantonment, Abuja, Thursday. The winners, who claimed 17 medals made up of 10 gold, 6 silver and 1 bronze, are trailed by Command Secondary School Suleja, while Command Secondary School Jos came third in the week-long competition, which featured 6 sporting events, including football.
From this competition, new talents have been discovered to represent the country even at international competitions.
23 schools participated in this year's competition. With sports update, Kenan Imabudike, NTA News.
Let's now quickly take a look at the weather picture across the country. A reminder that you can get all our stories and much more when you log on to our website at www.nta.ng. And that concludes NTA Network News for today. From all of us here, it's good night and do have a lovely weekend.